Hey, back at Flux Studios, and in our last video we talked about the 3 unique color circuits that are built into the Dangerous 2 Bus Plus, and we went into some more detail about the transformer circuit. If you'd like to see that video, all you gotta do is click the link here. And now in this video, I want to focus a little bit on how I use the harmonics circuit. This one is a little bit more subtle than the other two, even more subtle than the transformer, but nonetheless very, very useful. I tend to leave this thing engaged and routed into channels 13, 14 on the 2 Bus Plus, so that in my session, if I choose to use this particular processor, I can just send whatever I want to be affected by that out of 13 and 14. Keeps my routing really simple and makes recall super easy. I like this circuit for a lot of different things, but I mainly end up using it on things like acoustic guitars, synthesizers, and maybe sometimes even background vocals, because what I feel like it does is adds those second and third order harmonics and just gives a little bit of sizzle to whatever I'm adding it to. So if I feel like something needs a lift, that might be the circuit I choose, or certainly it would be one of the first things that I try. Mixing in general is about subtleties. It's not about big, wide, sweeping moves most of the time. Most of the time it's about subtle enhancements, adding or subtracting, so that things fit in and mix in just a really sort of nuanced way. Most of what I do with mixing is going to be that subtle. Big moves come in the beginning of a mix where you're setting volumes and panning and getting your gain staging right. And then even sometimes when you're using dynamics control, things like compression and de-essing, those can be a little bit more extreme. But generally, beyond that, it's pretty subtle moves. It's those mix decisions that you make that can make a good mix into a great mix. This harmonic circuit can be inserted either on 13, 14, or 15 and 16, or you can actually strap it across the entire mix. So the routing on this is really flexible. I like that because if I decide that my entire mix needs that subtle lift, then I'll just pop it over. And again, the recall is so easy. It's just one knob and a couple of buttons that I need to take note of in my session, one way or the other, whether I take a picture of it or I just write it down in the notes section. So it doesn't change my workflow. Super simple. Let's play some audio through this circuit and see what it sounds like. In this particular song, this is HOLLEY MCREARY, How It All Went Down, produced by John Kennedy. It's a mix that I worked on for them not too long ago, and I mixed it through this gear. I'd like to show you how I applied that harmonic circuit to the acoustic guitar and dobro. So now we're going to go ahead and solo that track, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it in bypass first, and then a couple of bars in, I'm going to go ahead and switch it in so that you can hear the difference. And remember, this circuit is full on, and it's still a little bit subtle, but I think you're going to hear the difference. Check it out. Adding those harmonics, I think really gave it an edge. You know, having these circuits is like having 3 different pieces of outboard gear that give me different flavors that I can use to give lifts in different part of my mix. Those kind of things add up in a mix, and that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for that little bit of extra magic, and I think this is a really cool one.